Well, doing another video. It's been a while since I did a video. I'm just doing a tip. Now, if you're mechanically inclined, you can do this, and you got the tools to do it. You can do this, but most of the time, 99% of the failures of a brake caliper is going to be this culprit. And usually what causes the problem is this is meant to keep water out of here. And over time, when this thing will get a little bit of dirt or it gets dry right up here, so your piston goes in like this and it pushes out. Over time, that sometimes this thing will get a little bit of water behind the little seal that goes inside here, that lips around here. You'll feel a little lip. See if I can't get that picture of it. You'll see a little lip. Well, that thing's supposed to sit in there. There's nothing really holding it. It just sits in there. And but anyway, water will get back in there. You can see a little bit of filthiness inside there, but water will get back in there and it causes this piston to rust, the part that's sticking out. And if you don't drive the car very much, or you don't change your brakes very often, well, this thing doesn't get pushed in and out, pushed in and out. It just keeps working its way out and out and out. Well, over time, there's rust that builds up on this thing on the outside, and that's what caused the failure, because it'll squeeze out and get stuck right there. It won't press back in. Now, a lot of your brake technicians, what they'll do, they won't check nothing. They'll charge you $500-600 if you're lucky, pay that cheap, but they won't check nothing. They'll just push this piston back in the best they can, and they don't pay attention to nothing, whether it's hard or push in or not. Then they'll put brakes on it and then send you down the road. Well, all this time, you're driving it thinking, you're doing pretty good. Got your good brakes on there, but this right here stuff's building up and building up. And eventually what people will have to do, because if you can't rebuild them yourself, or know somebody that can just rebuild them fairly cheap, you're going to have to go get you a new one of these. So you get to buy the whole thing. But all it needs done is you just need to clean all this rust off them. We'll use a wire brush on a bench grinder. Clean all this up, maybe use maybe some 3000 grit sandpaper if I need to, but I want to get all this smooth back down the way it looks on the metal, on the real shiny part. That's the way you want it to look. You want it real smooth. You don't want to take too much material out of here, because then you'll have a low spot and it'll leak fluid. But anyway, that's the problem I've got. And the reason why I knew this was happening, I was going to need new brakes anyway, but the reason I knew it was happening is because when it would get cold, I kept feeling a vibration in the front end, and it was only there when it was cold out, like below freezing. And I'd just get this vibration, and what was happening is that cold was just causing this thing not to be able to move around like 70-degree weather would. And that's how I knew. It was either a tire. I've got water in my tire. You can get water in your tire from an air compressor or something, and then it'll build up ice, and in the wintertime it'll cause it. But chances are, you're going to have a caliper problem. Now, how I push this thing out, you'll see a lot of videos of people using the air and all that stuff. And you could have pushed it out with the hydraulic system on your car, but you're going to lose a ton more hydraulic fluid. Or brake fluid, hydraulic fluid, whatever you want to call it. You're going to lose a ton more brake fluid because you're using the brake fluid to push this out, and eventually there's just so much fluid just flows out of here. You're going to lose a bunch anyway because of what's in here. But what I used is I just took the line off. I took the line off, and I got the line to where it's not going to leak. I took a little rubber thing. You see that right there? Don't have very good light over here. But anyway, you see what I did here. I clamped that with a little piece of rubber on both sides. So that rubber pressed down is using as a seal, so I don't lose no more fluid out of my reservoir up underneath the hood. And of course you're going to lose some. And my rotors look fine, but you can tell when your rotors are getting hot, you can tell they start getting a blue tint. You see kind of that blue tint to it? There's a little bit of slight blue tint. Now a real hot one will be really blue. But if you look at that, that's got a light blue tint to it. And that's heating up. And I noticed it as soon as I pulled it off. I'm like, yep, this is the one. And the other one spins free. So anyway, I'm not going to go through all this stuff, how to pull this apart, because chances are most people are not going to be able to do this. I mean, unless you're really good at doing stuff. What I used is I pushed this bolt I put this bolt down in here. It's loose, you know, it's just big enough to fit in there, as you can see, just big enough. You don't want to damage the threads inside this thing, then you won't be able to get your thing on. So you want to be easy with it and just let it slide in there. But I put it in the vise, and I just put it in there like this, and that bolt was up against this. So this, as it closed, it was pushing this bolt in, and it just popped it right out. Just be easy. You ain't got to put 1,000 pounds of pressure on it. It should just come right out. But my suggestion to you, before you try popping this out, pull that rubber thing back and spray you just a little bit of penetrating oil or something up in there. That way it's not coming out dry. So, and it's a lot easier just to press it out. But I'm going to be cleaning this thing up with a wire brush. The real hard part is, I've seen people use air to put these on. I'm just going to pop it in there and then try to fish this thing. Once you get it started, you should just be able to work this around and push the plunger in. But yeah, that's the way I'm going to do it. And if I can't get it in there like that, I'll probably use air. But my main thing is I've got to try cleaning that lip up too, because if not, it ain't going to seat in there very good, because it'll just build up with rust inside there, and that's what's happened. But what happened is this little lip here that's inside this thing here, it was pulled out, and the piston pushed it out. So what's happened, it just got dry, and then as it was working, that piston had grabbed that and just kept pushing out on it. And then the brake system, I ain't had this car but about a year, but then what somebody will do is when they change the brakes, they just shove the piston back in, and that thing still flapped out. And the thing is, you couldn't see it because it wasn't up here. It was right behind here. That's where it was messed up at. And if you pull that boot, like if this plunger's in there, that boot seat, the inside seat's around this. But if you just take your finger, take your light, pull that boot back and look and see if you see rust up underneath there, you're going to be having caliper problems real soon if you're not already. But that's basically what it comes down to. I mean, these chances are of the actual seal, there's a rubber seal in there that keeps this thing nice and sealed off. That's not what goes bad. It's just where the rust gets built up around the edges of it. That's usually what goes bad. But anyway, now you know, and hope you liked the video, and, you know, have a good day.